Welcome to another episode of the Carpe Fide podcast. We have made it to episode 135. Joining me tonight is a special guest host.
Ooh, I don't know about
the one. Oh, you're special. Yeah. The one, the only, Pops Gruber. Pops Gruber, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Happy belated Feliz Navidad, everybody.
Oh, man.
Had to get it in there.
My brother Jesse is taking a short hiatus with this week. His life is busy. It's just, it's a fact. It is very busy. So tonight, I thought I'd have Pops on. We talk about a little bit of a cultural issue, as we often do here on the Carpe Fide podcast. Episode 135 will be dedicated to the Cocomelon culture. It's so dumb. We're talking about a kid's show.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about a kid's show tonight. So that's what everybody needs is a kid's show. So, anywho, for those of you that don't know, and I don't know how long this podcast will go tonight. I don't know how long we'll be putting this video is gonna. Maybe it'll be a short episode. Maybe it's just simple. We just knock it out of the park, or maybe it's more involved. But nonetheless, the show Cocomelon was recently in the news because they wanted to shoot themselves in the foot, alienate families, just undergird. I don't know what they were doing. It was a mistake. It was clearly a mistake. They have an episode. We'll set it up for you, just so you know. Season 1, I believe, episode 8. So they said it, maybe 7. It doesn't matter. It's far enough into the Cocomelon. Oh, it's not even Cocomelon. Just to clarify, it's a spin-off of Cocomelon. So Cocomelon Lane is the title of the show. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix produced show, which... Sure, of course, it's a Netflix-produced show.
Oh, I had friends who lived on Cocomelon Avenue.
No,
I don't. I think that's on the other side of the tracks. Maybe
I sure hope it is. Cocomelon Lane on Netflix, in episode 7/8. That is totally unimportant. The point being that you know, if you're a parent, you're going to put a show on for your kids. You watch the first 1 or 2 episodes. You're like, okay, this is innocuous and safe. Then stick it further down into the episodes, now it's auto playing on Netflix. Thank you for that feature. And now all of a sudden your kid's watching what we're going to talk about today. The setting for what you're about to witness. We're just going to watch what we're going to talk about right early so that we can then unpack why it's not just this Cocomelon episode. It's not even just for me, the message in the song. It's the reality that this is the Cocomelon culture that we've adopted. I mean, there's a lot of problems with what you're about to see. A lot of biblical problems for those of us that want to love and honor God and what he has made and what he has made good. Apart from just the content you're about to see, it's the fact that we have something that we just sit our children in front of and don't monitor what's going on. That's the Cocomelon culture. Now, in this episode, it's picture day. And the small child is wondering what he should wear. I said he should wear. And fortunately, there are 2 male figures in the song video you're about to see who can help him with what he might want to wear for picture day at school. Are you ready?
I think so. Okay. I might need another sip of eggnog.
Oh yeah, no. This is a Gruber family tradition. This is Christmas eggnog, which will soon become New Year's eggnog. Can we do it?
Yep. Done.
Nice.
I need this.
All right. So with the ancient Gruber family recipe for eggnog.
Ooh, that's good.
Sure is. We are now going to display for you and then discuss the Cocomelon culture. If I have my technology down, we will get this right. So let's see how we do here. All right. Get ready. Here's the song. We're just going to let it play in full here.
Thing that we know about you, you love to get up and dance.
How about you break out those moves?
For your 2 biggest fans.
You're seeing the child dance.
If you're not sure what to choose, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Just be me?
Yep.
When you're trying to decide, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Just be me?
Thing that we
No, we'll not listen to it again. Once is enough.
I need way more eggnog. Oh,
Once
jeez.
is enough. All right. Now, for those of you listening on the audio, you just heard a song. A song about a child trying to figure out what to wear for picture day. What you didn't hear or didn't see on the audio is that the two gentlemen informing him were his interracial homosexual fathers. So, clear enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
that's
So,
probably
in
accurate.
other words,
Yeah, I
it
don't
was
know
a-
how I should.
It was
do
a grown black man and a grown white man communicating to a white boy what he could wear for picture day. And they did it through a, catchy little song. little song. So many questions arise in just watching the video. And if you're listening, a great question is, what did the black guy have to do with it? I mean, that was a white kid. Like, we all know that white kid came from white mom and a white dad. So, like, the black guy didn't even have anything to do with that kid. He's dating this guy. We got the interracial gay couple with the white. It's like a whole situation there. And that's just me, like, looking at it, right? Now, I don't even care. I don't have the background for it. I will never find out the background for it. Maybe they adopted this child.
They who?
The interracial gay couple adopted this white boy.
I just want to make sure.
But they're his biggest fans when he's dancing. So it just feels there's a lot going on in culture, and I feel like even reading the room, that doesn't feel like the right idea.
No.
No.
There's way more there. I would encourage you just to watch it so that you can understand the depth of the depravity of it. It opens up for a lot of questions, of parenting, of what culture accepts, what Christians are willing to tolerate. It's just, I mean, we'll talk about it, but oh my goodness.
I'm all for adoption.
Yeah.
I would never want any of this adoption.
I'm adopted. Did I
This
ever
is a
tell you I was
problem.
adopted?
Oh yeah, were you adopted?
Yeah, I was adopted into the kingdom of light. From
Amen.
The domain of darkness.
Adopted
I was.
sons of the Most High, joint heirs with Christ.
Just
Amazing.
wanted to-
amazing.
Got to get some sanity into
Now,
this.
apart from this, right? I don't even know. Like maybe like the poor black homosexual partner is in this process, and he's like, I didn't want to be here. This wasn't my plan at all. I didn't want to have kids. I don't even know. Now they got kids. A kid. He's a boy that can dance for them. I don't just process that. It's just it feels weird. All right, Cocomelon culture. I don't know if any of this is going to make any sense, or if I've already ruined everything and you're just turning off the video, which is fine, totally fine. This is a big problem. And I know what you're thinking. It's because there's trying to subtly slip in trans messaging to children's shows. Sure, yes, that is a problem.
That's part of it.
That we put our children in front of this crap and act like it's okay. Here's the dirty little secret. The first 6 episodes were bad too. Okay, I don't even know what the ideology they were playing. This is garbage. It's bad. It's bad. It's mindless stupidity, and that's a problem. What I did like, I don't know if you're with me on this. What I did appreciate about Cocomelon's little song and dance routine is it does reveal like the ethos of our age, the modus operandi. And I have a takeaway from the video itself. Did you have any takeaways as far as
I did? Yes. There's a lot of undertones, and there's a backdrop of agenda that's behind it that has a worldview that is anti-Christ.
Indeed. Namely that the child who's getting ready for picture day is governed completely by whatever their internal desire is, their emotional feelings, just the moment, really. And and they should wear however they feel, because however they feel is how they identify. That whole idea is the pervasive means of Satan that draws us all to sin. Like, that is the thing. Us glorifying ourselves over God is it's the sin. It's the sin problem. That's the,
yeah. I think that's the basic. That's the basic tenet of what you're saying. I think that I don't know where you're going tonight, but I was kind of thinking of Cocomelon, the Cocomelon culture in the Christian worldview. That's where I kind of was going, because that's where I shepherd. I shepherd in the biblical world of biblical worldview. And what does a believer do with a Cocomelon mindset, ethos, agenda? And what does a believer tolerate from the Cocomelon culture? Is kind of where I was, kind of studying this a little bit. That's where I kind of ended up. Not just. I think we know that the world is juxtaposed against a biblical worldview. We know that. I think probably every person that would listen to Carpe Fide would understand that there is a different worldview that Carpe Fide, wants to purvey, and that's based on the scriptures, which is opposite of what the world is. So I'm not surprised that Cocomelon does this, but where my surprise lies, I think, is how believers process this and where it's tolerated, these type of things. That's kind of where I was going in my mind and heart.
Yeah, no, I think that's it, because we as the church must stand ardently opposed to this idea. And instead of, this is we need Cassidy, the Cassidy moment into Cocomelon, right? We need a guy to lob off the head of the Baphomet, but that's what we need here. And we as Christians, we have to at some point really identify that we can't partake in this stuff. Like, we can't continue to fund it, watch it, engage it. And that's just with Cocomelon. That doesn't undo the whole culture, though. So there's even more than that. Is this pervasive idea that we have neglected the idea that we are called to raise up a child in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Like, that's the first word is raise. Like, if Cocomelon is the thing that your kid mindlessly watches, you've left the raise off, right? Like, forget about other stuff. And you're like, oh, well, sometimes I let them watch Cocomelon. You let them watch an episode of Cocomelon. It's like, what, 10 minutes? Fine. That's not what I'm talking about. The danger is when we allow these things to be a portion of the raising of our children. It's the same thing with not knowing how your child's being educated, right? As you send them outside of the home, right? Or that would be the only way you don't know, because if you're homeschooling, you should know. I'm hoping you know if you're homeschooling what your child's learning, but you must be engaged fully with this process. You can't allow the raising of your child to fall on simply a mindless TV show, because I can tell you what, if the culture has hold of that TV show, this is exactly what's going to be in it. And so the thing that's raising your child is not just the TV show, it's all the messaging behind the world. It's this philosophy of just be you, just do you, just however you feel it's the framework for truth. And we know that extends to not just for you, but it's the framework of truth for anyone who has to interact with you. How you feel governs reality. And emotional determinism is just it's a man building their house on quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah. You get that, you do you. And then on top of that, you have coming down from heaven above, God gets you. And now we've just created God in our own image, and we're happy with that, But again, biblical parenting would not put your child in that Cocomelon mindset, to be taught. So there's a lot of things in here that are just we got to kind of lasso them and tie them together and say, what does God want a Christian father and a Christian mother to do with this Cocomelon mentality? Okay, that things are now sneaking in, and this is not the first first time that this has happened. How many series do we watch? And the first 3 episodes are great, and all of a sudden there's a homosexual relationship in it, and we tolerate and we continue watching it. It's the same now, but what's at stake is it's drilled down to our children. There's an innocence there that's now being, kind of forced into, and we as believing, parents and grandparents, we need to be aware. We need to know, and we need to throttle back, and we need to stand up and say what's right and what's wrong. And I just one of my concerns in just shepherding young parents is what are those core values that are going to guide you through Cocomelon? What's right? How many episodes is a good amount of time to watch? Is that the best thing they could watch if they're going to watch anything? What does it say about your time with your child if you have to put them in front of a television to occupy some of their time? Is that what God calls you to do? Can you give me some biblical references that would make that okay? There's a lot to talk about.
I guess I don't want to come down. What I don't want you to hear is that there's a judgment there. The key is the word raise, right? And raise is not. There are certain objective realities to that word, but that doesn't mean that in how much TV should a child watch as you're raising them, right? There's no objective value there that says this is right and this is wrong. Even if there's sociological data that you've observed that says X amount is too much. I'm not even getting into that, but I'm saying from God's standard, when he says raise a child up in the nurture admonition of the Lord, right? The standard there is the activity of raising them. Now, certainly you can watch things, right? You can watch things. You can even let your child watch things. The question is, are you participating with it? Are you engaging with it? Because that's the activity of raising a child. And so what I don't want you to hear is I feel like, and this is something that bothers me. A mother's I let my child watch 45 minutes of television today and I'm a horrible mother. That's not what I want to set up in you. What I want to set up in you is, what are they watching? Have you engaged with it? Do you know what it is? Can you also then engage them? That's how suddenly watching something can be raising a child. And this is absolutely how we watch television in our house. Mm-hmm. There are things that the kids watch without us. Usually they are very elementary level humor of cartoons. And certainly, for the most part, I do end up knowing what's on them. But all the things that have next level content in them, right? Like an idea or a philosophy from the world that I would want to engage with, right? And that goes for anything from watching a Marvel movie. We're now at the point where my oldest daughter is able to stay up a little later. So we watch things on television together. We'll watch a whole series. And there is there's no series that is without its foibles, right? And it doesn't matter. That's not true. I guess you could go back to 50s, 60s television. You'd be okay, right? You go watch Leave It to Beaver. You'd be okay with that in the 70s. But anything that is modern, there's always going to be something you have to talk through, wade through, fast forward, edit, and adjust. And that activity is a portion of the raising of the child, right? So watching with my daughter, we just started watching this series, Stranger Things. Absolutely things that we have to fast forward and move past, but also simultaneously talk about, engage with. And her answers are phenomenal. She's way ahead of wherever I was when I was 14 years old as a as a human being in her spiritual maturity and her ability to identify lies and truth. But that activity is part of the raising of my child as we watch something, as we watch entertainment. But we can't, the Cocomelon culture of using something, right, as a substitute for engaging in the raising of our child. And everyone's like, I would never let Cocomelon raise my child. I was like, but your actions, if you allow them to mindlessly consume, 4 hours of Cocomelon, one, they've probably already seen the trans dance and the homosexual fathers, which, by the way, just statistically, we should definitely get something else in there. How many people have interracial homosexual fathers? Like, just genuinely, is it a large percentage of the population? I would venture it's a very small percentage of the population. How many people have obese parents? I don't see them on Cocomelon as much. Like, where's that at, right? How many have mute parents or deaf parents, right? They can't speak, they can't hear. Like, parents with handicaps. Like, we don't see that on Cocomelon, but we're going to force feed you. Although I would venture that all of those differently abled people there are far more likely to have children in the population than the interracial homosexual couple. Like, that is clearly force feeding the cultural norm on you. And that's a side note. I didn't want to get too lost in the song. But that activity, like that culture, that mindset, even in the song of I do what feels right for me. Like, we as Christians aren't allowed to have that. Like, if you serve Christ, that's not where you live. We live in the I will glorify God over me.
Right.
And so that very song, like the idea of using Cocomelon as a tool of raising your child or allowing them to consume large quantities of any media that you're not involved with is an incredible danger, because it's a neglecting of God's glory as he has gifted you the stewardship of a child. They are his. He has gifted them in stewardship to you, and he has called you to raise them up in the nurture and admonition of him. And so the whole process is basically what that song's saying. Like, just do you. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Glorify God.
Right.
Right.
Right. And that's where you get the opposing worldviews are colliding on this. And I think they're colliding for too many Christian parents that don't think biblically through it and the ramifications of it. So Justin, let me ask you this, because what we're talking about is, we're talking about
turn into an interview all of a sudden.
No, a time investment. I just again. So, sorry.
I have the right answer.
You asked me to be here, so this
gosh.
is what you get. You leave the door open, anybody walks in.
Really
what can you
paying
say?
for this now.
By the way, is the door locked? Anyway, we're like, what are we talking about here? Just in the mindset of letting something influence our children without our God-given responsibilities, kind of pushing it, like you were saying. You're watching Stranger Things with your oldest, and and you're talking through it. Well, that doesn't often happen with a little child. You're just starved for time. You're trying to get housework done, or this or that.
I just want the mountain of dishes
yeah,
smaller.
just like and
Can I fold some clothes?
and all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, they've watched how many songs on Cocomelon that just play over and over and over and over and over and over. And over and over and over.
Their new idea is that everyone is a dad.
So we're talking about that, but we're like, so are we also talking about checking out on our God-given responsibilities and raising our children in other ways too? I mean, isn't that another discussion that kind of comes in with this? As just, I don't know, school or friendships that take your children outside of the house for a night or a weekend or something like that. Or are we talking those things too? I think what we're talking, no, I'll let you answer. You answer.
Yeah, no, I think we are talking about those things, right? And again, the engagement and the activity of the raising of them, where I don't want to instill blanket observations that are objective in nature. Whereas I don't want to say, like, if you ever let your child do a sleepover, you're a bad parent, you're in sin, you have failed. But what I would say is, if you are not rightly identifying who your children's friends are, what they believe, who their parents are, what they believe, what kind of family culture and structure is that, then you are allowing your child to be in a spot. Like, one of the things, and it always comes back to me, like, when it comes to friends, I don't know if I'm answering your question here.
No, go ahead.
All right.
There's no wrong answer here.
You can just talk. Go ahead.
This isn't a test.
One of the things that I always remember as we've processed and thought about adoption, and I believe we would like to adopt at some point. We've gotten a lot of information. One of the key components is as you're adopting a child, if you have biological children, you want them to be older than the child you're adopting, because this allows in the home structure an avenue where your children are able to be the leaders. They're able to not feel in any way overcome by an outside force that may not share any of your values that you're beginning to engage with and teach and instruct. And that's wise. The same is true when you're letting your child have friends, right? Like the same idea concept is true there. Is your child the more mature and stronger person in the relationship? Because if your child is not, and they have a peer that is stronger, what do they believe? Because they will be guiding your child. Your child will be being led by them. So that's the same process, I think, when we're thinking about raising children and being engaged with that activity. Even as we were talking about extracurriculars, sports or hobbies or friendships, those are the key part where you've actually been the engaged parent so that you can look to God and say, yes, I sought to raise this child, not I managed it like an apartment complex I watch over, right?
Right.
I fixed problems where they were. The structure's still standing. That's not how we raise children. It's a constant activity. It's a full engagement, and it's an immersive process. It's a glorious, wonderful, hard, difficult, exhausting process.
So, okay.
All right. Did I answer that?
Yeah,
at all?
no, I think you did. I think you did
ramble.
fair to middling job on that. So I'll try not to throw you any more curveballs. All right.
Fair to middling. I don't think you're allowed to use any antiquated phrases if you can't tell me where they came from.
All the
Origin of Midland?
All the old people listening to Carpe Fide know exactly what I'm talking about.
Where is Midland?
And it's peachy keen with them.
Isn't that the world that Tolkien made? Midland?
I think it was before that even.
Oh, wow. Gee willikers. Additionally, if we're going to pull apart the ideology of I want to say the unnerving ideology that is behind the progressive sexual revolution, which is exactly what we're talking about when we've got a 30-second song on Cocomelon. Again, interracial homosexual fathers telling their son that he can wear whatever he wants, and he's coming out in a dress and a tutu and whatever else he's coming out in.
And a tiara.
A tiara. Don't forget the tiara, right? Because he can just be him. How does he feel? What do you feel like? What do you feel like today? What do you feel like in this moment? You feel sad? Maybe you're a cloud today. Maybe you're a rain cloud today. Like that whole culture and mindset in the song is being like the big idea here. It's being shoveled down your throats. No, down your children's throats while you're not even paying attention, right? While you're not even there to see it. Because I assume that most parents, especially if you're a parent that wants to honor God and loves his word, are immediately turning that off and disconnecting your Netflix account. Because it's grooming. It's grooming on every level. All right. One of or both of those fathers were one of or both of those human being interracial homosexual fathers, right? Those human beings, one of them, at least, had nothing to do with that child. I can guarantee you. All right. Because dudes don't have eggs. And that child was very, very El Blanco. And so I'm telling you that because that's not their child, but they are certainly instructing that child in the way that they should go. Now, their interactive raising of that child is literally grooming that child into being transgender, whatever it is, because you're like, well, they don't know. They haven't decided yet. They don't get to decide. There's no decision. It is already done. There's XX and XY. And oftentimes when there's issues with those two chromosomes, it's not something that's normative. Rather, it is what we call an abnormality or a mutation. It is literally medical. And hear me, that's not a judgment. No matter what your chromosomes are, we should love you and care for you. And if you have something that is outside of the normal range there, we should love and care for you in the specific way you need to be loved and cared for. That's what God calls us to do. This is not a judgment. The scary judgment comes in when you are choosing sin and telling everyone else they must accept and adopt it, because that's what Cocomelon's doing. Cocomelon's telling you, whatever you want to be. You're like, well, what if that child identifies as their biological sex? I'm still telling you, they're being raised as a transsexual person. That's what they're being raised as, because it's momentary, it's fleeting, it's emotional. The day changes, the mood changes, and boom, you've adjusted how you've presented, you've adjusted how you feel, who you are, and none of that matters with your actual biological gender. The whole concept is there. The whole structure is there.
So Justin, if you were a parent and you didn't know this about this episode or this, topic, and these themes were in the new Cocomelon season, and you discovered it after you allowed little Billy or Susie to sit down and watch several episodes, and then you discovered that these things were on it. What would a biblical response be by a parent who truly cares about their child? What would God call a parent to do in that scenario, do you think?
Well, I would say that God would call you to turn the television off immediately. And I would probably say at that point, if I was really thinking it through, like if that happened, I would hope that I wouldn't have a reaction. Like you want to pause for a second and take little, we'll call it Tommy.
It was
Timbo.
Billy and Susie, but
Billy.
Tommy works too.
We'll take Billy.
Except
and
when
we'll go to the
Susie thinks
table.
she's Billy and Billy thinks he's Tommy's husband. Then it doesn't work. But anyway.
Boozy and silly.
Yeah, there you go.
This is kind of fun. Anyway, so let's say Billy and Susie. I would take them both to the kitchen table. I would get them some cookies and milk, and we were going to sit down and have a conversation. Okay. I want them to have something that they're enjoying. I want them to sit down with me. I want them to be able to unplug from what they were just experiencing and plug in. Most of the time, kids are watching these things. If you see their faces, they're glazed over. So they're generally speaking, they're not avidly consuming what they're seeing, but they are certainly subtly consuming it. And children they're like silly putty. Like everything sticks to them and they can mirror it. And they don't even need to be fully engaged with it to be able to do that. And that's the scary part. I mean, the target age is like 2 years old for this show. It doesn't matter. I mean, you got off topic.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, yes, they are sponges that absorb more than we think they absorb.
Absolutely.
In fact, one of my granddaughters taught me that ungies have 9 stomachs.
What's an ungie?
I didn't know what an ungie was. I still don't know what an ungie is, but it's on some TV show that she watched, and it had 9 stomachs, and it was just a line in a cartoon thing. So yeah. So anyway, my point is that they do absorb, and right. we as teachers, they're shepherds that God has given them to us. We need to do something when something sinful has entered into their minds that could influence them. What does God call us to do in that scenario? It's
right.
So and you answered it.
I would not only would I sit down with them, but my instruction to them would then be that I love them enough that I want to tell them the truth. I want them to know God's truth about them, and God's truth is that God made them, and God wasn't confused when He made them. God knew who He would make them, and He made them.
Billy says to you, "But why can't we watch Cocomelon anymore? We just won't watch the bad stuff." What do you do then?
That's great.
Like what's a practical? I'm trying to get this into a practical. Okay, so you're on board. Okay, this isn't a biblical worldview that we want to push down our children's throat. Okay, I get that, and I really need to engage more with our children. I can't just plop them down and let them watch whatever just so I can get stuff done. I do need to engage with them. So what do I do? No more Cocomelon. Is there anything else good out there? Like what's the alternative?
There's a ton.
How do we get through this?
As far as quality media, there's a ton of alternatives that you can turn to for quality media, and if that's something that is helpful to people, we can explore that. Like at this point, I would rather your child be put down in front of Bluey, which me and Jesse would love to do a separate podcast on, and I mean literally on like every episode of Bluey. We love Bluey because the show itself has none of this. Now, I can say that because I've watched every second of it. And I've watched it beforehand. So the question here may be, could you go through and censor Cocomelon? Certainly. But I don't want Cocomelon to have my dollars. I don't want Cocomelon to have my money, right? I don't have a Netflix account. And I'm okay with that. It turns out I've still been able to live. Now, you can't fully divest from any of this. The globalization of money and corporations is too intertwined. And I'm not telling you, like, if you follow the rabbit trail, you will realize that the only thing you can do is farm your own land in the woods.
Go off grid.
That's it. No electricity, no nothing, because everything, right? And even you better cut your own logs down to build your own house, like all of it. You'd have
But
to
the
go
thing
back.
is there's people that go off grid. They make these YouTube things about how to go off grid, and they're not off grid
So
anymore.
ironic. Why
Because
would
they're
you do
keep
that?
posting these. Well, I don't get it.
Anyway, here's my video of a stick house I made in the
Yeah,
woods.
look at
And it's
this.
like, wait a second.
Yes.
This isn't off grid. You're videoing your stick house. It was a solar camping biodegradable camera. Anyway, you can't. I'm not saying you can fully divest, but I'm saying when you can divest, you do. You must. I think that's the key. And then you look for other, like, dear goodness, there are biblical Christians who are probably living right next to you that you're in community with that have already walked through this stuff. Like, there's things that they know that might be, hey, this is a great resource for your kids. Hey, this is a horrible resource for your kids. Don't let your kid look at this. This resource is glorifying to God. This resource is from Satan. Like, there are, so talk to parents, talk together. Honestly, if your pastor is culturally engaged, they should have answers for you on this. The things that I have seen from the Daily Wire's Bent Key app also seem very solid and good. You can go. There are things on YouTube that you can see, but even then, you got to be careful. YouTube has ads and stuff. Like, you can find some classic Hanna-Barbera stuff on YouTube, right? Relatively innocuous. You can search those things out. If you really want to get clear about it, you can do this crazy thing where you buy DVDs and you put them in your DVD player, and they'll still play episode after episode of various things, right? But you govern that. You're in control of that. There's so many of platforms that you can subscribe to on the internet that are also very good, that have solid content. None of that really addresses the issue, though. Can I watch Cocomelon? Like, at a certain point, you have to address your conscience. You want to get out of the Cocomelon culture, right? But even when you allow your child to watch something, you want to know that it's got a fulfilling nature beyond indoctrination of evil. Certainly, like, it's got more of a purpose to it. It's entertainment. It's engaging and it's fun, but it's not satanic. Like, it's not evil. It's not immoral. So in doing with that desire, as you pull out of that culture, you're going to want to naturally engage with the raising of your child and engage with the content that you're doing. Like, it's both. It's not an either or, right? I'm not just going to look for something that I'm going to put them down in front of for 5 hours. That's better. I'm going to automatically say I need to engage with the content here, engage with the culture, engage with what I'm seeing, engage with what I'm hearing. I want to engage them in what they're seeing and hearing. It's going to flow naturally. It's definitely more work, like 100%. Mm-hmm.
So this is about interaction and engagement as a parent.
Right.
Right. That's the backdrop and the principle that the stage of growing your children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, right, has the backdrop of time, of engagement, of awareness, right, of the wherewithal of what your children are absorbing from all avenues of life,
Right.
Be it friends, school, be it your grown-up friends and
Right.
their family. If they're a sponge and they're taking things in, your engagement, that's kind of what I'm hearing from you as what God would call us to do. And if
Right.
it's finding an alternative to Cocomelon to help our shepherding go better, then that would be a wise thing to do, right?
100%.
Okay, good. So you had mentioned Daily Wire and Bent Key, and you had mentioned Bluey. Now, as I understand it, there's a little bit of, like, even in the world we're watching over this Cocomelon episode, there's a little bit of edginess on right wing, left wing kind of
So
how they're viewing this this thing. Like, what?
So
How do we
moving-
process that? What is it? What's going
it's
on?
a totally
with it?
different news story. The New York Times released an article that was upset with the Ben Key app from Daily Wire and their children content, as well as Bluey, because they have shows that show fun dads. Dads that are engaged with their children. I mean, and on any of these shows, the dads could be doing anything. Like, it turns out, as a father, we can do dishes, like, and still have fun with our kids. and we're gonna go, do work in the yard and have fun with our kids, and like we can do things in the house and still be engaged with our children. And they acted like it was a fallacy that this fun dad exists, and I'm like,
yeah, like, I read a little bit of the Times article, and I don't know the gal who wrote it, but some of this stuff was so like foreign to my thinking of what a manly man, not a mannish man that looks like a man but not really functions as a man,
but a manly man,
a
who
manly
actually
man,
displays
like
the correct characteristics.
Yes,
of a man.
right, and that would be loving and caring and nurturing and engaged and having the time to do it. All those things we just talked about. I was like, man, what happened to her in her childhood that she would be so bent against a dad doing fun things with their children? And again, I couldn't compute that in my head as to how you would get there as that being a bad thing for culture.
I'll try to get the link in the show notes. For
Yeah.
that,
Okay. All right.
So that you can know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It does seem like there was some sort of hurt. I think, given the statistical nature of fatherlessness in our culture, possibly there could have been an issue of fatherlessness, or perhaps an issue of a broken marriage, or
Could
something.
be. We have
no idea.
We have no idea.
Regardless, we know that coming from a 2-parent household is one of the key indicators of success in a person's life. Like having a father who is fun and engaged with you, like it's a key factor in you, like not going to prison. Like it's like a key factor in you finding financial stability
and going to further education and to being actually a productive person in society that does.
Why
good
would we
instead of
downplay
evil,
that?
so.
Even from a humanistic standpoint, which is just, that's obviously satanic, but like from just bent on humanism. Like it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. You're trying to push the culture further into a spiral of decay. Like that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's illogical. Spock would have nothing to do with this thought.
No.
Nope. I said that. For
Your
the
reasoning
Trekkie
is
fans.
illogical. The Trekkie fans. Are there Trekkie fans?
Oh,
Still?
I don't
There
know.
are. Don't take offense.
I think I dated myself again.
No, they're definitely Trekkie fans. Don't worry. Yeah, that whole thing really bothers me.
Yeah.
Jesse and I really want to do like Bearded Brothers, the Bible, and Bluey. Like we want to make a short, quick hitting podcast videos about Thebes from Bluey episodes, and incorporate truth, the overarching truth of God into them.
I like that.
That's how much we like Bluey. And when I say we've seen every episode, I mean I have access to all of the episodes from both seasons, and I'm ready for
One of the
all
things,
3 seasons.
Just speaking
all
of
them.
just speaking
So
of
many
your
times.
knowledge of Bluey, I have appreciated watching you and Jesse actually watching the episodes with your children. It's not like you set them up. You actually are watching them with them. You know what the episodes are, and you all laugh together at the same funny things, and you all appreciate the same things. And
I feel
I
like Cocomelon,
find that like
makes their episodes so painful for adults to watch, so
They
they can
drive
sneak
the parents away.
this progressive sexual
Yes,
identity in.
right.
Like they're like, oh, no parent could possibly sit down and watch 30 seconds of this. Like it's just painful. So we'll sneak in this progressive sexual identity concept here because no parent has any idea.
Right, we're going to play Hickory Dickory Dock 10 times, and we know the parents are going to leave the room running and screaming, and
My
then we'll sneak in
brain's
our
bleeding
channel.
out of my ears. My eyes are bloodshot. It's like, yeah. So anyway,
Gosh.
Cocomelon Lane's probably used as a torture device in China right now in the re-education camps.
Yeah, Cocomelon Avenue is not like that.
Was it a nice place?
I think so. I think
This
so.
is probably a great place for us to just pause here and I think look, it's been about 45 minutes. Probably enough time. Oh
I got
no,
no more eggnog.
I didn't.
Can we get into sir? Can we
didn't drink
can we
fast
end the
enough.
episode now? I need more.
Regardless, dear Christian, as we end every episode of the Carpe Fide podcast, again, check the show notes out. How this episode went, leave us a comment. Find us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Leave a comment there. And you can even email us at hello@carpefide.com.
Oh, hello at carpefide.com.
And while you're at carpefide.com, if you were to go to carpefide.com, you can check out, any of our other episodes. You can check out a few articles that are up there. You can also check out our shop, which has these awesome T-shirts. You can see them. It's a visual medium that we have.
Just so happens that I have one on.
You have one on too. But we would love to engage with you. So please just jump on, engage with us. That's why we do this. There is no ads because we don't make money at it. We want to engage in cultural truths here. So one of the things we'd like to do is tear down Cocomelon culture. Tear it down. Yep. Just like Cassidy and the Baphomet in Iowa State Capitol, we would like to tear down the Cocomelon culture. So with that being said, we would like to encourage you this day to
Seize the faith.